RiverPitch is proudly supported by ACS and River City Labs.
Hello and welcome to RiverPitch. Tonight, we have the last elimination round before the finale, where 6 businesses will compete for the grand prize. Last week, we saw Sound Scouts and Unleashed Live secure a place in the finale and join Ordira and the world's biggest garage sale. This week, we are welcoming back our mentor from Melbourne, Shona Devon, and our judges, Johan, Siobhan and Andrew. So let's get straight into it with Jessica and Lucinda from Neighbourlytics.
I love doing what we're doing because we are actually changing the world. So without our data, property developers and local governments are just guessing at how much we as citizens love the places that we live or the places we work, and we're providing them with data to understand the personality of places and the social connectedness of neighbourhoods. And these are massive issues that affect people's mental well-being and health. Loneliness is as likely to kill you as smoking and heart disease. You know, this is big stuff, and we are actually creating a solution for that. Our clients are buying it and buying it again and again and again. And so the only challenge to scaling so far has been able to get capital so that we can build the next features, and we've just got that. So yeah, it's an incredibly exciting thing to be working on. Think of a place you love to spend time. Your main street, a local park, or perhaps a favourite beach. We became city planners over 15 years ago to make places for people, but we realised really early in our careers that city making is letting us down. Communities across the world are getting fatter, sicker and lonelier than ever, and it's happening because planners are relying on focusing on building heights and road widths rather than thinking about the human side of our cities. Neighbourlytics solves this problem by creating social data for neighbourhoods. Every time you like, check in, review and post, not only are you showing the world what you value, but you're also contributing to a digital twin of our city. Our groundbreaking technology harnesses this data to provide real-time, hyperlocal insights into neighbourhood life.
Over the past 6 months, we've created data for more than 400 neighbourhoods across 6 continents. This provides an unparalleled data set to provide insights into how neighbourhoods work. Our data is used by leasing agents to find the best tenants, by property developers to plan livable neighbourhoods, or by governments to allocate budgets for services. We're here tonight because we are recruiting for Australia's best product team, and we'll be creating and launching a product that will benchmark how well neighbourhoods are thriving across Australia and then the world. This will provide city governments and property developers with the insights they need to create places people love. Right now, through our website, you can access real-time data about what's happening in your neighbourhood. I'm Lucinda.
And I'm Jessica.
We're Neighbourlytics, and we invite you to join us in transforming the way cities are created.
Jess, Lucinda, well done. That was awesome. You can relax now.
Thank you.
No, it's cool. You've really condensed everything that we went through last time we were together into that 90-second presentation. So let's see what these guys think.
I thought it was fantastic too. Just can I understand a little bit more about the data sets? So what data sets are you using?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So our current analytics pipeline is built to consume anything that's structured around latitude, longitude. We currently focus on social media, such as Google, Facebook, Instagram, TripAdvisor, Zomato, and all those other crowdsourced websites. We're looking for data that is real-time, created by the people that are using the neighbourhood rather than an expert opinion about a neighbourhood. And there's only more and more data sets available, and we've built our pipeline in a way that it can consume new and future data sets as the world changes.
Can I just dig into that a little bit more? So your platform is proprietary. Yes. How does it curate that content and provide it into a platform that planners will want?
Yeah, so the core to our IP is how we match and clean the data. It's really hard to use the data that we use, but what's really special about what we do is the urban planning expertise that we bring to that challenge. So we've worked in that sector for a long time. We know what it takes to make great cities. So we're not just data scientists cutting up data and providing, high-level insights. We really know what it takes to make thriving communities. We've been doing it as consultants for 15 years, and now we're bringing that expertise to the data analytics.
I've got a great question, hopefully. So you talked about property developers, and obviously when you're developing a suburb or a town or a place, they're trying to maximise revenue earning space. So that's why we have these big towers, etc., and limited non-built space. So it sounds like you're trying to bring more of that space back into communities. How are you convincing property developers that that's the right decision to make?
Yeah, currently property developers have very little insight into what's actually happening in a neighbourhood. And the big shift that we're seeing at the moment with the experience economy is people are buying into the neighbourhood more than they are apartments. So we're very interested in high density living. We think that's a sustainable outcome for cities. The critical thing is to make sure that those apartment buildings also provide lifestyle options for the people that are living there. And without intelligence about what's happening in the neighbourhood and what even their customers want, it's very difficult for them to achieve that with a higher quality living outcome.
Thank you.
I'm interested to find out how you manage privacy of the data and use it and on-sell it to other third parties.
Sure. So we made a decision very early in the piece to only focus on place data and not personal data. So we can get all of the insights that we get without going anywhere near anyone's personal Instagram account or things like that. We're just looking at the reviews people are leaving about businesses, the things they're interacting with on, Instagram likes and Facebook likes and Google reviews, those things that are in the public domain anyway. We're not creating personas out of that like others are doing. We're looking at what that tells us about the place and what's valuable in the place.
And what do you see as the biggest threat to your business and how do you plan to overcome it?
The biggest threat right now is we've got too many customers. So, and I mean that quite genuinely. We've had a huge amount of interest. We work right across the property sector with Tier 1 developers and a lot of local and state government agencies. We're right in the sweet spot of social impact and data, and that's really what everyone's talking about right now. And so we need to grow as fast as we can, which is why we're growing that product team. We need to really intentionally create an intuitive product, and that's what we're focusing on over the next 6 to 12 months.
But also the exposure of being able to speak to a national audience may mean that there's someone out there who's interested to work with us.
So whether we win or not, we've already won. Please don't use that.
A great first pitch there to kick this evening off. Up next, we have Tony from WePloy.
We wanted to create a fearless and empowered future of work. Growing up, for me, I'd always been in situations where, due to my background, I'd been given, less of a chance. And so something that I really love is that we're now being able to remove that unconscious bias across the board. Doesn't matter where you come from, how old you are, or whatever it is, we're able to help these people actually find work. What I really love is I'm now hearing stories every day from our employees where they're telling us about how we've actually been able to change their lives or impact their lives in a really positive way.
Hi, my name's Tony and I'm from WePloy. And we're a recruitment platform that helps businesses hire short-term, pre-vetted, white-collar staff within seconds rather than days or weeks. So one of the things that not only I experienced firsthand, but something that I saw a lot when I worked in the recruitment industry was the amount of bias that happened. So when we built this platform, we built it with 2 goals. 1, to remove unconscious bias, and 2, to help businesses hire faster and better than ever before. So we designed and built a unique 6-stage vetting process that leverages data to make the hiring decisions. We never show you the name or the photo throughout the hiring process, and we've been able to reduce the time to hire from over a week down to 11 seconds. So our business model is simple. We take an hourly clip and we leverage business admin as a way to get into the business because we know once a client uses it for the first time, they immediately fall in love, and from there, traction and referrals go through the roof. We've been in business for about 1.5 years, and we've seen some great growth. We've gone from 3 to over 30 people across 2 states, and we're still going. We help hundreds of local, Australian, and global organizations hire better and faster than ever before. But the best thing is that one of the most common pieces of feedback that we receive today from our clients after using it for the first time is that they will never use a recruitment agency again. Thank you, I'm Tony.
Tony, you love that last line, don't you?
I really do.
So good.
It's one of the best, yeah.
Cool. Let's see what the judges think.
Excellent. Well presented, Tony. A couple of key things there. Of particular interest to me, love the fact that you're doing it faster. It is a laborious process and you're taking away the bias. Talk us through the 6 vetting steps. What do they look like?
Yeah, so we really wanted to make sure that we created consistency in quality. So looking at the traditional model, it was very much a 1-stage vetting, which sometimes loosely happened. So what we designed was we said, how do we first front up the data side? So we looked at cognitive ability, emotional intelligence, psychometrics and skills these kind of things, and we'll then be able to qualify through a set of online testing. From there, what our team would do is they'd qualify and verify that data with the person. So they do a quick phone screen, because a lot of times that phone man and verbal communication is important. Then they do a quick face-to-face, which is then to verify everything and make sure that the person is real. And then we do things like police checks and work rights checks. So we would do that all in the front load so that we can obviously make things faster and make sure that every single person is consistently then gone through that process. And then they're also rated after every single job. So then they're consistently rated after that.
To validate your initial...
Yeah, and it's a two-way rating. So it goes for both the client and the employee.
Excellent. Tony, I really like how you're disrupting the recruitment industry. Very good. You said you've been in business for 1.5 years. What has the traction been, and what does the next year and a half look like for you?
Yeah, so it's been phenomenal. We launched the business, and in our first year, we actually smashed our beta or our goal in the first 3 weeks. And since then, we've grown the team from a financial revenue point of view. Obviously, I can't explain that right now, but we've been able to grow Melbourne and Sydney, and we actually focused the majority of our time not on sales, which has been the most exciting part. We focused purely on the tech and the operations in the beginning, and it was only last quarter that we really started to ramp things up.
So talk me through your tech team. You've gone from a small team to 30. What's the tech team doing?
So from early on, I mean, myself and my other two founders, we're not technical founders. So we really looked at what was our strengths and what was our weaknesses. And one of the things is we're not technical. So we brought on a tech advisor who was actually the ex-advisor, or sorry, the ex-CTO of Redbubble, which brought it from pre-revenue to IPO. So he came on and really helped us structure and look at what does the tech need to look like. And so one of our first hires was a guy called Johnny, who's been phenomenal, and he's really spearheaded our tech and really drove the team. So all of our tech is in-house, internal in Melbourne.
It was nerve-wracking, I don't know. We'll see. Main thing for me was I wanted to go out there, obviously tell the story of WePloy. What will be, so long as I was able to say what I could be. And yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Welcome back to RiverPitch. Tonight is the final elimination round. We're hearing from our Melbourne contestants. Before the break, we heard from Neighbourlytics and WePloy. Up next, we have John from Shifties.
I love doing what I do because it gives me a chance to make a mark on an industry. I want to change how people are employed and how they work, and doing what I do gives me opportunity to create that. Yeah, my wife is a nurse, so she would often come home after a night duty and be sleeping, only to be woken by her work, trying to get out of work for an afternoon shift. So I had no visibility about the types of work that when she'd last worked, what their fatigue planning was, and even if she wanted to work. So we looked for a way to fix that problem. Hello again, my name's John Webster. I'm the founder of Shifties. Shifties is a service designed to humanise rosters. My wife's a nurse, and she often comes home and sleeping after a night duty only to be woken by her work, trying to call her in for an afternoon shift. There's no fatigue planning, there's no understanding about even if she wants to work. And she's not alone. ABS statistics tell us that 40% of Australians work either part-time or rosters. That's 5 million people whose work-life balance is in the hands of their employers to get right. And employers too struggle because the market has all sorts of options to schedule people without actually asking about the people. So Shifties turns this process on its head, and it starts with the employer and employee view of what a good shift should look like. Staff use connected devices to enter their shift preferences. And Shifties takes care of the heavy lift for employers, including EBAs and fatigue planning, and then wraps that around with a fairness test to make sure that we can build a roster that everybody can agree on. And studies show that giving staff a say in their work-life balance leads to happier staff with higher throughput and less sick leave. And in the industries that we like to work in, including emergency services, call centres and health, where you can't always compete on salary to attract and retain staff, we offer a competitive advantage for employers. Now, myself, I've been working in the IT industry for more than 20 years. I've got a great track record of building and retaining teams that have a customer-centric focus, but we're looking for help. I'm looking for mentors and investors to help us as we turn this journey around and make workforce planning a humanised factor for people around the world. Thank you very much.
John, love it.
Thank you.
a work-life balance.
Important for everybody.
We all want that.
Yep.
So let's see how our judges feel about it. Johan?
Thanks, John. It's very touching how you were driven by, your wife's story. It's very touching. Hopefully you got enough brownie points for that.
Hopefully, yes.
Now, the area that you're working in is quite complex. There are various things to think about. You touched on the EBAs, etc. So how do you plan to scale it when there are so many different layers of complexity?
And I think that's why a lot of competitors have looked at other models to try and build rosters. So our journey's been about finding the hard way to get this done, because the goal's been to try and make it one touch as much as possible for the people that have to build these rosters, because it's a pretty thankless task. So our model works to build up rules in a layered way so that we can weight them. And that allows us, with personal preferences from employees on a per shift basis, it changes the tempo of the roster. And that's part of the IP, the intelligent engine that we've built to put together to make this work.
John, in your pitch, well done, you referenced things such as reducing absenteeism or increasing throughput. You didn't reference directly absenteeism, but what evidence do you have of that, and how much traction has the product got at this stage? So
there's a lot of studies that talk about how creating work-life balance leads to reduced absenteeism.
Yep.
In some of our research, we found that unpopular shifts in certain healthcare locations could run up to 40% of staff not turning up. Right. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because there's fewer people to do the work, there's more load that needs to be done. And also for those businesses that have, like in healthcare, where they have a patient-to-staff ratio, they have to pay for backfill. And that can be up to 250% of the cost of the original shift in order to get it going. So we know anecdotally that there's a lot of evidence that we can save time. And we've been doing work in a study with Victoria Police for the last 12 months, looking at how we can handle this, how we can manage that process and make sure that their staff have a tempo to their rosters as well.
Look, you never know when there's a bunch of different judges with different ideas about how they want to look at your company and see how you've gone, but I personally felt pretty comfortable out there.
Goodness, the judges are going to have a tough call on their hands in terms of who to send home tonight. Up next, we have Annie from Talkie Play.
I think that for me, the moment in my business that I've been most proud of, I'm a sole founder, so sometimes it's hard to separate myself from the business. The business is myself. My company's been going for just over 12 months. And last year was the first time that I really talked about for the first time publicly about my brain injury and what it was like to learn language again. To learn language is super hard. And it wasn't easy to talk about that and to also be building up a business at the same time. But I thought it was important for people to know that, I understand what it's like for kids learning language. I understand what it's like to struggle with language. And this is what drives me. Hi, I'm Dr. Annie McCauley, the founder and CEO of Talkie Play. I have a PhD in medical research, and I'm the mother of 2 beautiful young children. But the other year, I was slumped over my afternoon coffee, holding back the tears of exhaustion as my toddler lay on the floor, throwing yet another tantrum. Because, like 1 in 5 young children, she had a language delay and struggled to communicate. A delay in early language in these years means it's hard for these kids to communicate their needs. It's hard for them to make friends and to engage in learning. And it flows on into school, impacting them and resulting in a lifetime of lower education and economic success. But the key to closing the gap for these children is early language practice. Language practice around objects that are familiar to them, in familiar environments and delivered in repetition. But it's important that it holds the children's attention so that they want to do it. Recent EdTech products have been really successful at grasping children's attention, particularly ABC Mouse and here in Australia, Reading Eggs. It's also got a huge uptake with parents. But unfortunately, these young children, and particularly the ones delayed with speech, have trouble relating the on-screen images to real life.
So at Talkie Play, we've created real-life learning. With Talkie Play, kids explore real-life talking objects in their home and classroom. Our patented IoT platform is hardware, kid-friendly hardware, coupled with our smartphone software that allows the furniture to talk, sing and play games. We currently have 186 pre-orders from parents and educators in 6 countries. We're providing first in a B2B model to our preschool education providers. We will then provide in a B2C model through these education channels for parents to purchase for the home. I've just completed a seed raise this month to build our team. And we're now ready to take on more preschools. So my ask today is for introductions to the C-suites of the major preschool providers in Australia. I built this for my daughter. And as I see her thrive every day, I'm motivated to build Talkie Play further, to change the lives of children across the world, so that every child has the opportunity to thrive.
Gosh, it's such a change from our first meeting. Just, I mean, such an improvement with the pitch. You're feeling so much more confident, yeah?
Thank you, Shona. Yes, so much more confident.
Let's see what the judges think.
Annie, incredibly powerful, so thank you. That was tremendous. In terms of scaling, just let me understand a little bit more the difference between the hardware and the software. So what can help expedite that scaling process?
To expedite the scaling process? Yeah, so, I mean, hardware and software you know, are a challenging combination. But it's something that we're going to be able to do well because our hardware is actually quite simple and easy to scale, and in terms of manufacturing, we can do that here or overseas. We're pairing with a manufacturing company in Australia to do this. So we'll be focusing on the software development in-house, and we'll be able to pair with this health tech manufacturer who can deliver the high quality needs that we need from our device. We're then able to do R&D with them. I have the device built in-house, but we're redoing some of the R&D to improve the speaker quality. And it means that we're also able to scale up to meet the demand. And this was a really big thing that we can't do in-house currently.
Thank you.
Annie, from my perspective, can you just explain a bit further about your revenue model? How does it work? If I'm a preschool, is it a one-off cost? Is it a monthly cost? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked because I didn't go into that very much. So what we do is we have an initial hardware sale for our revenue model. That includes a setup that goes into the preschool. So we have the discs that go all around the preschool. There's about 100 or so in the set. And then the hardware device, which is the toy that gets taken around. So we have a revenue sale from that, but we also have a SaaS model. And the reason we have that is because it provides reporting content, which is a demand from the education system. And we also have game content that's growing. So if you can imagine Netflix, but we're doing this for game and language content for children, so it doesn't just meet their needs now, but is able to grow with them as they grow. It's hard to say. I mean, I felt great out there. I felt like I was clear, but my nerves were pretty high. I mean, it's an amazing experience.
OK, that was our final pitch for this evening, and you'd have to say just about every business deserves a shot at the grand finale. But of course, that can't be the case. Our judges need to make a decision, and that decision is next. Welcome back to RiverPitch. We've heard now from all of our contestants. Let's find out what the judges are thinking.
Shona, Melbourne's on fire. There are some very impressive pitches. Could you just share with us the commercialisation readiness of each of the 4? How would you rank them?
There are 2 who are already fairly established and commercial, and then the other 2 are probably finding their feet, I would say, would be a nice way of putting it.
Okay.
Is that how you guys found it? Who stood out to you?
Yeah, I found Nebalytics and WePloy to be out there commercially ready at the moment, and then Shifties and Talkie Play a little bit further to go. I think they both got potential, but not as ready as the other two.
Yeah, not too dissimilar actually. I love what John was talking about with humanising rosters and the point he had identified, which is they're trying to base rosters on people, but they're not consulting the people. So kind of threads that were strong, but definitely similar to you around that sense of, is it really where it needs to be? It'd be great if employees had the app and they could do a lot more with that solution. So there's some pros and cons. I definitely thought WePloy was great strength in relation to seconds to recruit, the removal of the bias. We all know how bad that can be, and that kind of removing of recruitment agencies for particular strains of work. That had a big tick for me, and they're already going quite strong after a year and a half.
So while they're, reducing the time and creating jobs, they're also taking away the recruitment agents out.
Well, they're inverting the model, which we see in Netflix and you see in iTunes with music. They're inverting the model when it comes to recruitment, which I think has got a great deal of utility. Dr. Macaulay, very impressive. Great product. It looks like she's really doing some research. Balancing the development of hardware and software, really a challenge. Not a simple, and then involving kids, even harder. Look, I think there's more to go there, but it sounds like she's on the right trajectory, in my opinion. And Neighbourlytics, I definitely think, was a standout for me as well. Yeah, some great stuff going on there.
Well, I guess I really liked Talkie Play, but it is unique, and I'm a little bit nervous about the amount of competition in the recruitment space. So yes, very commercialised product, sounds great, but the human aspect being taken out of the recruitment just doesn't resonate with me.
Okay.
But we have to make a decision.
Yes.
It's good that we're not all on the same page. Judgment time.
Judgment time indeed. Any final words, Shona, from our our judging perspective?
I guess something that we were talking about earlier in terms of the theme, you've got 4 founders there who really are painting their version of the future.
Yeah.
And, being that change that they want to see in the world, which is admirable no matter what.
So it sounds like the judges are going to have to fight it out. Will it be Neighbourlytics, which is trying to grow its team, or WePloy, which hopes to make recruitment agencies redundant? Or perhaps Shifties, which is looking for investment? Or will it be Talkie Play, which is on the hunt for more customers? Well, let's head back to the studio to find out who the judges are sending through.
Our founders did an incredible job. We were incredibly impressed, particularly a real game-changing focus on making the world a better place. So thank you for that. Congratulations to Shona. We thought we had some really good companies last week from Brisbane, and I think you might have taken it to a new level. Obviously, not everyone can go through though, so in terms of criteria, we thought one was really ready to commercialise and could rapidly grow in the next 12 months, while another has a brand new marketplace that offers a lot of potential. So within that context, Jessica and Lucinda's going through.
Congratulations.
And Tony.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Well done. Congrats. Sorry, I stepped on your shoe.
We are giving you, the audience, an opportunity, a chance to influence the decision as to who walks away with the grand prize. Which of these 6 businesses is your favourite? Who would you like to see take their business to the next level? Well, log on to yourmoney.com.au/RiverPitch/vote to cast your vote. The voting lines are now open. The big decision will be unveiled on the 16th of April, 7:30 p.m. here on Your Money.